It started with a lipstick stain, a tiny smudge on the collar of her blouse that she dismissed as her own, though I knew better. I had bought her that lipstick last Christmas, a rich crimson she only wore for special occasions. But this wasn't a special occasion. It was Tuesday, and her blouse didn't match her pants. For someone as meticulously put together as Katherine, the mismatch was my first clue. For weeks, I lived in silent agony. The late-night texts she hid with a tilted screen, the sudden need for a gym membership when she despised working out, and the laughter, light, carefree laughter I hadn't heard in years, muffled behind closed doors. It all painted a picture I didn't want to see. I didn't confront her, not right away. No confrontation would have been too simple, too loud. Instead, I became a ghost, floating through our shared life, observing from the shadows. I noticed the faint smell of cologne that wasn't mine lingering on her scarves, the way her phone never left her side, even in the shower, and her newfound fondness for taking long walks alone. The breaking point came one Saturday when she claimed she had a work meeting. It was absurd. Who schedules work meetings on weekends? But I played along, kissed her on the cheek, and watched her drive off in a dress that was far too elegant for an office setting. I followed her. She didn't notice my car, several lengths behind hers, as she drove to an upscale restaurant in the city. I parked discreetly, my heart pounding like a war drum inside. Through the wide glass windows, I saw her. She was sitting at a table for two, laughing and leaning forward, her hand resting on the arm of a man I'd never seen before. He was polished, handsome in a smug, overly groomed sort of way, and he was staring at her like she was the only woman in the world. I sat in my car, gripping the steering wheel until my knuckles turned white. The betrayal was a physical ache, a knot tightening in my chest with every passing second. But anger quickly gave way to something colder, sharper, resolve. If she wanted to destroy what we had built together, she wouldn't get to do it on her terms. She wouldn't get to walk away unscathed. The plan began to take shape. That very night, I went home, made dinner, and waited for her return. When she came back, flushed and glowing, she kissed me hello, and I forced myself to smile. Her lies tasted bitter against my lips. "How was the meeting?" I asked, my voice steady. "Exhausting," she said, brushing past me. "I'm going to take a quick shower." I watched her retreating figure, my mind already calculating the steps ahead. Over the next few weeks, I prepared meticulously. Every detail had to be perfect, every move precise. I wasn't just seeking revenge. I was crafting an experience she would never forget. First, I hired a private investigator. I needed concrete proof, not just for myself but for the world. The photos and recordings he provided were damning. Clandestine meetings, passionate embraces, and whispered conversations. I felt a twisted sense of satisfaction with every file he handed over. Next, I started collecting keepsakes from our life together. The wedding album, the love letters she had written me, even the ticket stubs from our first movie date. These weren't for her. They were for me. A reminder of what I was fighting for, of what she had thrown away so carelessly. The box was the final touch. A simple wooden chest, polished and elegant, with a brass latch that gleamed under the light. I filled it with mementos of our life together, alongside the evidence of her betrayal. It was both a gift and a statement, a Pandora's box that would unleash the consequences of her actions. The night of the reveal was her birthday. I planned an elaborate dinner at home, cooking her favorite dishes and setting the table with candles and flowers. She arrived, surprised and delighted, her eyes lighting up as she saw the effort I'd put in. For a moment, I felt the sting of nostalgia, a longing for the woman I had fallen in love with, the woman I thought I'd spend forever with. "This is amazing," she said, kissing me on the cheek. "You're too good to me." "You deserve it," I replied, forcing a smile. We ate in relative silence, the clinking of cutlery filling the void where our conversations used to be. She didn't seem to notice my subdued demeanor, too engrossed in the wine and the ambience. After dessert, I handed her the box. Her hands trembled slightly as she took it, her eyes darting to mine with a flicker of uncertainty. "What is this?" she asked. "A gift," I said. "Something to remind you of us." She opened the box slowly, her fingers tracing the edge of the lid. As she saw the contents, her expression shifted from confusion to horror. The photographs, the letters, the evidence of her betrayal lay before her, stark and undeniable. Her face paled, and her hands shook so violently that she nearly dropped the box. I don't understand," she stammered. "Don't you?" I said, my voice calm but icy. "You've been lying to me, Katherine. You've been lying to both of us." Tears welled up in her eyes as she scrambled to explain, to justify, to deny, but I had no interest in her excuses. I let her flounder, watching as the realization of her actions sank in. "I trusted you," I said finally, my voice breaking. "I gave you everything, and this is how you repay me?" She begged for forgiveness, swearing it had been a mistake, a moment of weakness, but her words rang hollow. Empty promises from a woman who had already broken too many. The next phase of my plan unfolded over the following weeks. I filed for divorce, presenting the evidence to ensure the proceedings went in my favor. I moved out, taking only what was mine and leaving her to deal with the echoes of her decisions. But my revenge didn't end there. I sent the evidence to her lover's wife, an act of solidarity and retribution. The fallout was spectacular. Careers ruined, friendships shattered, and reputations tarnished. Katherine tried to salvage what little she had left, but the damage was done. She was exposed, vulnerable, and utterly alone. As for me, I found solace in the chaos. It wasn't just about revenge. It was about reclaiming my life, my dignity, and my future. I moved on, rebuilding from the ground up, stronger and wiser for the experience. In the end, Katherine's betrayal was a blessing in disguise. It freed me from a life of lies and gave me the strength to start anew. And while the scars remain, they serve as a reminder of what I endured and what I overcame.